Hey everyone, it's Loshak in the Bag Show here at Pub Sports Radio, July 27th, 2021. He's Jimmy the Bag. I'm Peter Loshak. We're going to take a look at this MLB card. Jimmy so graciously allows me to open the show, every show, which I really appreciate. This is a lot of fun. I love it. It's always more fun when your picks are going well, though. There's no way around. There's no way around that. It's always more. But what if this happened? What if that happened? What if this happened? What if? No. The first and foremost thing is the picks. I don't know if you checked what happened with my picks from last week's show, Jimmy the Bag, but I was pretty annoyed by it. Kind of classic. I opened up the show by making a joke. It was just a joke, but I was bragging hardcore about that pick I made about the Bucks to win the title. And what happened to my picks that day? A whole bunch of picks that were looking great up until the last minute. I had 3 losers by 1 point. The 2 MLB losers by 1 run both came in the bottom of the 5th. They were first 5 picks. Jimmy the Bag, this is all a dream within a dream. Jimmy the Bag, all a dream within a dream. I still haven't learned my lesson, which is shut the fuck up about any shit that you did that was great and don't be arrogant. I did it again last show. Look what the hell happened to me. How you been doing this past week, Jimmy the Bag?
I had great.
Oh, there you go.
Thursday, I struggled on Thursday. Thursday was a 1-4 day, but we bounced right back and had a really nice Friday. So it's been a great second half so far. We're sitting at 217 wins, 180 losses, 54.7%, plus 13.89 units, ROI plus 3.50%, average line minus 112, and I feel good about this. I'm
happy for you, Jimmy the Bag. That's great. As I said, when you're doing a show with 2 people in it, only one of the people has to be doing well. And then the show is justified. That's why you want a show with 2 people, not so you can have a back and forth. It's for plausible deniability. If you have one guy doing a show by himself and his picks are sucking, people are like, why are you watching this show? And people are like, I don't know. And the ghost is like, I don't know, But if you got 2 people in this show, one of them his picks are sucking and one of them their picks are great, people are like, why are you watching the show? Well, of course, totally justified this show. Congratulations, you, Jimmy the Bag. Even if it weren't for the joke, for the show's sake, I'd be happy to hear that you're doing well, that you're off to a great start in the second half, Jimmy the Bag.
It feels good. And it all started with back-to-back shows that we were on together, the Saturday and Tuesday coming out into the second half that got me rolling. I feel very good about things. Also, Taint has won 2 in a row. Jose Say Hey Play of the Day has won 3 in a row. We have a special guest appearance from Sharpie today for a live rock and roll Sharpie's Dirty K prop of the day. I am very, very hopeful. We got a great group in the chat. Yeah. Sammy Culmer in the house, already locked in Jays' first 5 money line and White Sox money line. I find that Jays game extremely interesting. I've made 5 bets so far on the card, and I've stayed away from that rematch on the mound with Garrett Richards and Ray. I've stayed away from it. Raymond Reddington, Yankees first 5 plus a half. We got Kenny V, Brian Watson, Benny Blanco in the house. There's Nuke Worker on vacation right now. Finally, 3 weeks vacation. He's hard at work at Darlington Nuclear Power Plant most of the year right now. 3 weeks off, so he's rolling with us. There's North Ender in the house. We got Arthur Mead Jr., OG Low Bagger. Hugh, you remember this man very well, don't you? Don't you, Pete?
Hugh, pause for a couple seconds. Direction.
Yeah.
From day one, he never got me to say huge erection. Never got me to say it. I never fell for it. A lot of people fall for that trick, not me.
A lot of people. There's Red Girl in the house whom we love.
Hell yeah, shout out to Red Girl.
Puzzler, a.k.a. Canas Cat, another OG low bagger right there. Jeff Shahadi says best day of the week is a low bag Tuesday. And there is our guy, Clint, started Die Hard MMA podcast. Pete, I don't know if you saw what Clint did on this past Saturday night, but this is all facts. Listen to this. On Saturday night, he was up 26 units.
That doesn't impress me too much. No, that's great. That's awesome. Congratulations, Clint.
26 units in one show. In one
show.
In one night.
In one night. Well, okay, but is that because he took a minus 1,000 favorite and said, okay, I'm betting 25,000 units to win 20.6 units, and it won, and he said, hey, I'm up 20.6 units.
No, all one unit action. He hit a giant parlay. He hit a giant parlay that did incredible work for him. But our man Clint started the Die Hard MMA podcast. I had to check out his show yesterday with him on such fire. I jumped in and watched him and James Lynch yesterday. Shout out to Clint. 26 units on one show.
Hell yeah. No, I'm just kidding around. Shout out to Clint. Clint knows I love him. Clint knows he's awesome. Huge shout out to Clint. I'm just tossing out some jokes, Jimmy the Bag. So just in case my personal picks go south in this show, I can be like, well, I made some okay jokes in the beginning. You know what I'm saying?
Sure you did. Razor Sharp Pick says, what up, Jimmy? Pete, chat, going for 3 in a row today on Gambler's First Glance. There is Turnsy in the house. Star of the Rusty Coots play today. Pierre Swartas, Mike M, J-Rack. We got J-Rock. Sorry, J-Rack. What's wrong with J-Rock? Walla Walla Dose. Christopher Comatini. We got a ton of work to do today. Serious business. Gerardo Hernandez. OG Lowbagger. There's Big Ragu. Another. Oh.
Hell yeah, Big Ragu.
Neil
Big
P.
Ragu.
Look at all these guys. Deacon Mike in the house says he didn't know Jesus was a Yankees fan.
Yeah, well, there's a lot of shit you don't know about this existence here, Deacon Mike. There's a lot more where that's coming. Trust me on that one. That was a pretty good joke, Jimmy the Bag, right? 20.6 units. Like, well, maybe you bet 50,000 units to win 20.6 units on a minus 25,000 fave. Huh?
You're running hot. There's no doubt about it. You know how Deacon Mike is running hot? He uses Bovada, and there is a prop bet for over 2.5 home runs. He's been hammering it for every Cubs game. He's hit like 7 of his last 8. He's sharing them all with me. I don't have Bovada, but just this alone makes me want to back Bovada. Wow. And Deacon Mike, he's an old school gambler. He knows he's cashing on one look, so he keeps hitting it day after day after day after day. Shout out to our Deacon Mike in the house.
That's the key. Know what you know and know what you don't know. And because if you know some shit and you know that you know it, but then there's some other shit that you don't know and you don't know that you don't know it, you'll fuck everything up. You know what I'm saying? Give me the bet.
Yes, I do.
That actually made sense. If you want to rewind that and slow it down, that made sense.
Yes, flip it. Actually, I was about to quote. Okay, I stopped. I edited myself.
Use that line for the Low Bag movie if it ever comes out.
It will come out. There's Cat 45, first 5 underage Yankees. Rich G in the house, and Puzzler following my action closely. 99 and 66 over the last 2 months. I'm proud of it. But let's keep it rolling. There's a Nutflush Allen in the house. So many great cappers. I can't say hi to all of you guys. I wish I could. Mr. Grokester, Nutflush, Renee, Leroy Flood, Lance LaRose, Rodney Barton. What a great group. Von Polo says, love the Baltimore Orioles today, and he's going to the game tonight. All right, there's Matty Ice Star, the Taint play of the day. And by the way, Peter, Matty Ice celebrated his 38th birthday yesterday. Oh, very nice. Congratulations, Matty Ice. Here's to another 38. I don't know what to say, man. Let's get into this handicap. Let's get into this. Slat says Nate Schmidt won't waive no trade to go to the Jets. Wanted to stay in Vancouver. He doesn't want to stay in Vancouver. He just doesn't want to go to the dirty peg. And, who can blame him? He wants out of Vancouver. We want him out. Edler wants out. It's been a very strange offseason, but I understand why people don't want to play in Vancouver. That team is awful. And I'm not even proud to be drinking out of a Canucks cup. I despise the Oliver Ekman-Larson trade. I think it's a great trade for the Coyotes. Be terrible for a year, get a top 3 or 4 pick, and build back up through the draft. That's what teams do. I'm shocked that Nedeljkovic goes for a 3rd-round pick. I'm shocked that you can get Sammy Reinhart for a 1st-round pick. I think Florida's going to be very, very good. I'm shocked that Seth Jones was readily available. Now, I know that they gave up a lot to get him, but I think it's a huge move for the Blackhawks to get Seth Jones. I'm confused by the NHL offseason, but we're talking MLB right now, Pete. We are running hot, and it feels good. Let's get right to work. Now, I've made 5 bets. I've tweeted them out. I've locked them in. Now, 2 of the market moves went against me, and when I was on the radio, I made all the same picks that I was going to make bets on, and I got beautiful lines on the market moves that went against me, and now they've come back, and I'm really talking about the Brewers Pirates because I liked the under 8.5. It was at 9 for 30 minutes or so, and I got to give it out on the radio at 9, but it's back at 8.5. Where I think it should be. I'm on the under there. But we start at 7:05 p.m. Eastern. Pete, Thank you guys so much for joining us, everybody. Rolling with us, Loshak in the bag on Pub Sports Radio. Miami Marlins at Baltimore Orioles. Marlins are 43-57, 19-34 on the road. Orioles 34-64, 16-30 at home. We're at Camden Yards in Baltimore, Maryland, 91 Fahrenheit clear, 5 miles per hour out to left center. We have Sandy Alcantara, who is coming back from the bereavement list. 5-9, 3.23 ERA, 1.15 WHIP. He's had a great season. I wonder if leaving his routine for a little bit on the bereavement list will hurt him. 119 and 2/3, 105 Ks, 37 walks, 10 home runs. He did not look good in his last start. It was a 7-inning doubleheader at Philly. 3 innings, 4 hits, 3 earned runs, 3 walks, 3 Ks, and a 5-2 loss. You wonder if there's a lot on his mind right now. Spencer Watkins, 2-0, 1.65 ERA, 1.16 WHIP, just 16 1/3, 13 Ks, 8 walks. His last start was very good. 6 innings, 4 hits, 1 earned run, 2 walks, 7 Ks, 6-1 win at Tampa. Neither team hits righties. We have a few of these situations here, and one I'm using hopefully to my advantage in the Arizona Diamondbacks game, where they're 2 worst teams in the league against righties. These are the 4th and 3rd worst teams in MLB versus righties here. Marlins 235, 678 OPS. Orioles 223, 670 OPS. Orioles bullpen's been a train wreck. Miami Marlins bullpen has been getting better as the season has gone on. 3.48 ERA, 1.18 WHIP. Joseph Gomez is under first 5. Under first 5 for Joseph Gomez. And Big Ragu talking about that Pittsburgh Milwaukee says my best bet of the day is the first 5 under 4.5. We're going to get there very quickly.
Shout out to Big Ragu.
Yeah, great guy. Dav Fan says Spencer Watkins, a 28-year-old rookie sensation. Probably not. I agree with that, Dav Fan. We're not talking about a highly thought of prospect. But let's hear what Mr. Pete Loshak has to say about this spot. Here we go.
Yeah.
This Marlins spot here. Let me just set you a table for you to run with a market move here. Total opens up at 9, goes to 9.5. Total opens up at 9.5. Goes to 9. And the Marlins open up at -125. There's been an 11-cent move to -136 at Pinnacle. Pete, take it away.
Yeah, I mean, I definitely am probably going to be on Alcantara at times in the second half, but I'm not sure this is a great spot for him. I think I'm going to be looking to bet on him when he's clearly back in his groove and in more promising lineup situations as far as the lineup that he's facing. I don't love the situation for him. I'm a little bit surprised that the line has moved in Miami's favor. I didn't bet it, but I was definitely leaning Baltimore as a home dog when it came out, and I guess I'm leaning more that way now. Thinking about the first 5 under, I can understand that. I had a thought about that as well, but it's a pass for me as of right now. But I'm definitely at this line leaning Baltimore. It's just a big question mark with Alcantara. With my numbers is a very low confidence factor surrounding this game, so it's a pass for me.
I get it though. I think it was a pass for me because I with the coming off the bereavement list and everything going on with Alcantara, I can't trust him. And I agree with Dab Fenn saying, what are we supposed to expect these sorts of numbers from Spencer Watkins?
Right. Yes.
We're not. So I like the plus money look on the Orioles. Only 2 batters have faced Alcantara, and so very small sample size, 1 for 8 against him. No one on the Marlins have seen Spencer Watkins. Why don't we take a look and see where the cash is for this first spot on the card? We have 2,307 tickets in at Sports Insights. So they're saying that 53% of the tickets and 63% of the cash is Moneyline Marlins. Then 37% of the tickets, 58% of the cash on the under. And again, that does make sense to me with how weak these teams are against righties. After hearing that, it makes me want to look at this first 5. So we've seen the full game go from 9.5 to 9. You mentioned that first 5, Pete, on the total. And that first 5 is sitting at 5. So it was initially juiced to the over at -108. Now it's to the under at -116. I do think that this first 5 under is in play. What do you think, Pete?
I don't want it. Both starting pitchers. I think it's probably a slightly better spot for Watkins. I agree that he's going to probably be someone that I'm going to be betting against in future spots, but not in this one. So it's just a pass for me. Too many unknowns as far as my numbers are concerned.
I agree with too many unknowns, but these teams just don't hit righties.
Yeah, no. I hope y'all cash with your bets.
6 runs in the first 5 innings. I know it's a nice, warm weather for offense. Helpful Honda says Marlins bats suck against Baltimore. 6 runs in the first 5, I would be surprised with. I'm not going to sit here and hum and ha, but I think that first 5 under 5, after talking it out, knowing that the opposition haven't seen these pitchers, I think that this should be possibly on the card. So I'm going to leave one question mark because I'm close to moving on. First 5 under 5 in Marlins Orioles. Again, I want to stay as far as possible away from the Orioles bullpen. 4.87 ERA, 1.38 WHIP, converted just 16-31 save opportunities. There's Dutch Boy Fresh in the house. All right, that is our first game on the card, Pete. We move on to game 2. I was very uncomfortable to see that this full game under 8.5 that I got at -105 went up to 9. I was angry about it, and then it went back to 8.5. That made me feel a little better, although I would have loved to have hammered that at 9. We have the Taint play of the day in. I repeat, Taint play of the day is in. I'm going to copy and paste it, and we're going to talk about it when that game comes up. But Taint play of the day is in. So, look, it's again, Matty Ice hammering this perfectly. I thought that I was going to beat the market move. I'm on that bet already. I got it at 9. It was the other total that went against me. And it was very, very irritating to see it go against me. Nice to see Matty getting it at 9.5. I'm already on that at 9 at -105. We will get to that game. But here, we're at the 8.5. Brewers, Pirates, PNC Park, Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. Brett Anderson, Tyler Anderson. I'll break down all the stats, but you know what I'm on. Pete, are you interested in this game at all?
You mean in the under?
Or anything to do with Brewers?
I was thinking about the under and the Pittsburgh team total under as well. Although I haven't bet that one yet, and I'm seeing 3.5. I would much rather have 4.5. So I haven't bet this one yet. Leaning under these Pittsburgh. The PNC Park games are very tricky, and when it's like decent weather out, a lot of times they go under or way under, more so than you might expect. But when the weather heats up in Pittsburgh, you can get those 15 to 11 games very, very easily. And both of these starting pitchers are, not overwhelming. So I'm not sure how much I love the under. I'm leaning Milwaukee and leaning Pittsburgh team total under here.
Yes, I also think that Milwaukee makes sense right now. I took the full game. I'm trying not to double up in the second half of the season on anything. I don't want giant swings here late in the year, and I'm in good shape, so there's no need to reach. But this would have been one where I would have had interest. But I wanted the full game more. This Bruins bullpen has been lights out. This Brewers pitching staff over the last little while has been the best in the league. Their bullpen, 3.64 ERA, 1.29 WHIP, converted 25 of 44. But it is the weakness against lefties that both these teams share. Mm-hmm. The Brewers, though, are hitting much better. On the year, 229, 719 OPS versus lefties. Pirates versus lefties, 235, 661 OPS. Brett Anderson, 2-5, 4.26 ERA, 1.37 WHIP. He's a tricky pitcher to cap. He's always been tricky for me. The eye test, he looks very hittable. I've made mistakes fading him, and I'm nervous backing him here, but it's pretty easy to do that against the Pirates offense. Just 35 Ks for Brett Anderson in 57 innings. The last start, 2 earned runs in 5 innings at Kansas City in a 5-2 loss. Tyler Anderson is a pitcher that I do trust. Even though I almost hesitated saying it. 4.35 ERA, 1.20 WHIP. And his last start was at Arizona, a team that does have decent numbers against lefties. He allowed 3 earned runs in 6 innings, 7 hits, and I'm on this under. And a lot of cappers are here on the under as well. Helpful Honda says Brewers have won last 3 road starts. We know that the Pirates have just traded Frazier. I wonder if this is a spot to also back the Brewers at a nice price. Let's go over the market move here. By the way, the first 5 is just, I guess maybe that's a red flag. They're barely favorites, -110 or -115 with Brett Anderson on the mound first 5. We go to full game money lines and totals. The Brewers opened up at -135. They're now -125, a 10-cent move over to the Pirates. And as I said, this total opened up at 9 for a matter of minutes. It did not open up at 9 at Bet365, but the first books that came to the market opened it at 9. It was there for between 15 minutes and 30 minutes before it went down to 8.5. Then it jumped back to 9, and now it's 8.5. Let's see the baseball data here. It's another reason why I like this spot. The Brett Anderson against the Pirates, they're 4 for 32 with one extra base hit, a double. So 125, 303 OPS against them. And Tyler Anderson, the same beautiful stats here, 6 for 31 with one extra base hit, a double against them, 194, 468. So I would understand if anybody went first 5. Let's just take a look at where the cash lies here. And if we can explain the 10-cent move towards the Pirates, 30% of the tickets on the Pirates, 40% of the cash. And a 10-cent move towards them. Then 57% of the tickets and 76% of the cash on the under. This would be a fine double-up spot here. Mally Mouse says, wow, sounds like an easy under pitcher. It makes me a little scary in these situations. Big Roo says, Anderson season is definitely rocky, a lot better last 3. Rich G says, don't double up on this game, Jimmy. Pirates have been scrappy lately, not worth the double up. I agree with that, and I think that 10-cent move over to the Pirates has made me a little uncomfortable. Is the trigger going to be pulled by you, Pete?
No, I'm definitely waiting to see what happens with the total. My main lean on the game, I guess, would be Pirates team total under on the full game, but I didn't bet that yet.
Nutflush Allen has pulled the trigger on that Pirates team total under 3.5 at plus 110.
Really?
We have Corey Simmons, another OG low bagger. I love when Pete comes on the show. He brings out a bunch of our OGs. Corey Simmons, a.k.a. Focus on Your Bets, is Gooch. Gooch play today is the Brewers money line. There's Billy Brisbane in the house, CT Bays in the house. And CT Bays is on that Baltimore-Miami first 5 under. I think that's enough for me to pull the trigger. I'm going to take that question mark off the first 5 under 5, hearing that CT Bays is on it as well. Okay, so I'm on the full game, under 8.5 at minus 105, and you are yet to pull the trigger on the spot there.
Yeah, but my lean is Pirates team total under 3.5 at plus money.
All right, let's move on to a spot that I took a real deep dive into. 7:05 p.m. Eastern, Washington Nationals at Philadelphia Phillies. Nationals 45-54, 18-29 on the road. Clearly sellers as we move towards the deadline. The Phillies 50-49, 30-19 at home. We're at Citizens Bank Park in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. And I took a real deep dive because I knew this total was going to get hammered to the over. Yeah. I knew it. It was clear with Fetty and Matt Moore on the bump that it was going to be hammered to the over. And my deep dive was into these 2 bullpens because I knew that I wanted to be involved in fading Matt Moore. And I know, and every time I think of Fetty, I think of Viper MB, another OG, a low bagger of ours, who always talks about how trash Eric Fetty is. But Fetty has nice numbers against Philadelphia. The Philadelphia Phillies hit 232 with a 700 OPS versus righties on the year. The Nats are now the number 1 team in the league versus lefties. And Matt Moore is absolutely atrocious. So I knew that this total would climb. It opened up at 9.5. I didn't get it at 9.5. It quickly moved to 10. Then it moved to 10.5. And so I did a deep dive on these 2 bullpens who've not been good this year, but they've been good of late. The last few games, both bullpens have been good. And I think there's going to be a real early hook on these 2 pitchers. So I decided against the full game, and we'll break down the stats a little more after we hear what Pete is doing with it. But I'm on the first 5 over 5.5. Mm-hmm. I got minus 120. That didn't come out till 10 a.m. I was literally checking the site every 5 minutes, waiting for it to come out. I'm also on the Nats first 5 minus 105. I think Matt Moore can get touched more than Fetty. And I know, look, there's a ton of volatility here with Fetty. I get that. Let me set a table odds-wise and let Pete roll. It's gone from 9.5 to 10.5, and that 10.5 is juiced to the extent that an 11 is now on the board at Heritage. And then we have Moore at minus 114. The Phillies, there's been a 5-cent move towards them at minus 119. Take it over, Pete. Nationals, Phillies.
Yeah, I mean, I agree with everything that you said. I'm definitely thinking about the thing about, you mentioned Fetty and his high volatility, and I love that, you know what I mean? Because that means that you can reliably and confidently take big underdogs when those pitchers are starting. And if it turns out to be one of those days where you fade Fetty big as a big underdog and he throws a 6-inning shutout start, fine. You'll make it up easier with make it up no problem with your next bet on him, which is also going to be a big underdog line, and you're probably going to win. So I love Fetty. When he starts, I always try to take as many underdog lines as possible, as big underdog line as possible, whether I'm betting on him or against him. in this spot, I definitely took a shot with the Washington first 5 team total over, no brainer, just like you just said. Not a big line, 2.5 minus 105 right now. I'm seeing at Heritage. I would also be leaning first 5 over and the Washington full game team total over as well. We know the Phillies pen is iffy, and yesterday they used a lot of relievers, had a good game. That's probably doesn't bode well for them here. So I bet the Washington first 5 team total over. Definitely leaning first 5 over, and Washington full game team total over as well. And I'd probably be leaning Washington -1 or -1.5 as well as an underdog. But I'm not sure what you want to make official here for the show.
I like it a lot. Our guy Leonard Porch Jr. took Nationals team total over 4.5 -124 as soon as bookmaker released it.
Yes.
Rich G says, "Don't overthink it. Take the over." You know what? I did overthink this, Rich G. I really did. I spent a ton of time on it because I knew that it was going to move so quickly towards the over. Focus on your bets. Our man Corey Simmons, he says, "Steady road home splits are different. He's much better on the road." He's like, just like Blake Snell, fade Snell on the road, play him at home. A very similar situation with Blake Snell, though. And what we've seen a lot of pitchers do is they can be terrible on the road, but if they go into Miami, they can shut the Marlins down. Crystal Warren, great job. She got it at 9.5. Lance LaRose says both bullpens are taxed. I looked at that, and they have been used over the last 3 games, but they've used a whole bunch of different relievers. And I went over that too. It wasn't like the same guys being used 3 days in a row. That made me so. I'm not taking the full game. I've been impressed with both bullpens over the last little while, and I'm not taking the full game. Eric Fetty's last start, I don't want to take too much into it. Again, it was against the Marlins, but he, righted the ship. 6 innings, 4 hits, 1 run. It wasn't earned. 1 walk, 4 Ks. He's had a great start to the season and then a terrible run of late. And then Matt Moore, we faded him heavy in his last start at home versus the Braves. He got touched for 6 earned runs in 6 innings, 2 homers, 3 walks. He's got a 1.60 whip, 37 Ks, 20 walks, 9 home runs allowed on the season. He's not to be trusted. And then Nats smash lefties. It's a pretty simple situation for me, and this added to the simplicity because Fetty's been very good against the Phillies. They're hitting .222 with a 761 OPS against them. Now, Bryce Harper, 6 for 15 with 4 homers. Rhys Hoskins, 5 for 19 with 2 homers. I don't like it when the big bats can get to him, but no one else really gets to him. He does a nice job against everybody else. Real Muto, 3 for 14. McCutcheon, 2 for 11. Segura, 2 for 13. Gregorius, 2 for 15. Herrera, 1 for 12. And then these lefty bats for the Nats, they get to Moore.
Yeah, you do your research, man. I'm just like, Moore kind of sucks. I'm taking the Nats -1 and the team total over. You do your fucking research, Jimmy the Bag.
I love it.
Yes.
I love it. I enjoy it so much. I enjoy it enormous amounts, and then I enjoy coming onto the show and breaking it all down with everybody. It's something that just horse racing is my favorite thing in the entire world. But second is studying these baseball numbers and getting to share with everybody. So Matt Moore, they're hitting .326 with a 1.081 OPS against them. Let's take a look at where the cash lies, and we can imagine it's going to be a ton of money on the over, and we don't find that. So, look, there's only 1,916 tickets in right now. I don't know why there's such a small amount in, and I'm not sure when these bets have been attacked. And you can imagine that it's being attacked at a very, when this total went up to 11, maybe at some book, or 10.5. But at this point, there are 49% of the tickets on the under and 98% of the cash. And, that I legitimately thought this, Pete, when I was doing this deep dive. I was like, you know what? The whole public's going to be all over this over. They're going to push it up so high. And I got cold feet. I was like, look, I'm going to focus on the first 5. I'm not going to double up here. And maybe it's just gamblers wanting a contrarian play. But I am shocked, and I hadn't looked beforehand. I am shocked to see 98% cash. Obviously, a big bet done on the under. But I am not. 98% is ridiculous. That's an extreme. There's only 2,000 tickets in. So, but I felt uncomfortable on the full game over, even when I could have got it at 10.
Yeah, I agree with that. I didn't bet that one yet. I took a no-brainer auto play, first 5 team total over, fading Moore. But that's all I've done as far as a bet's concerned right now.
Yeah, so I'm pretty comfortable where I am. First 5 over 5.5 -120. Nats first 5 -105. And Rich G makes a good point about overthinking things. But I've been overthinking things all year long. And as soon as I started really overthinking things when we used the market analysis of where the cash has gone, my ROI has gone up. And it's, I'm just going to, when I'm afraid, I'm going to stick to being afraid. And something made me uncomfortable about this full game over, and that's why I did a deep dive in the bullpen. So there we have it. We'll see if Pete pulls the trigger on the Nats team total over. But what was your one official pick so far on that game?
No official pick. I just made a bet on the Nats. First 5 team total over at 2.5. And all right, I'll make that an official pick. Minus 120 right now. I'm seeing at the Heritage. Nats first 5 team total over 2.5 minus 120. If it loses, what am I going to be like? I shouldn't have faded more in that way. I'll take it. Official play. First 5 team total over 2.5.
Total over 2.5. At minus 120. I like that bet. All right, let's move on to Braves Mets. And this was a spot where we did not know who was pitching for the Mets, and we still don't. So let's not spend too much time on it. We'll just do a brief breakdown of the situation at Citi Field in Queens, New York. Braves are 49-51, 23-26 on the road, and clearly aren't going to be heavy buyers come deadline time. New York Mets. Oh, I shouldn't say clearly. That's my expectation. I shouldn't say that Anthopoulos is not going to be up, to his tricks. He wants to steal players. He wants to make moves all the time. So I shouldn't put that past him. Mets 53-45, 31-16 at home. We're at Citi Field in Queens, New York. 85 Fahrenheit, clear. 10 miles per hour out to straightaway center. Charlie Morton has been much, much better in the last 6 weeks or so. 9-3, 3.65 ERA, 1.14 WHIP on the season. 130 Ks in 111 innings. 40 walks, 10 home runs. His last start was nice. It was up against Matt Moore, and it was an easy catcher for all of us. 6 innings, 4 hits, 2 earned runs, 4 walks, 8 Ks, 7-2 win at the Phillies. The Mets don't hit righties, 234, 697 OPS. The Mets are such an impressive group when I look at this 53-45 record, 31-16 at home, with all the injuries that they've dealt with, all the adversity that they've dealt with. They've been so good. Mets bullpen 4.03 ERA, 1.36 WHIP, converted 29-44. Braves bullpen 4.53 ERA, 1.41 WHIP, 21-36. Not much to talk about here, Pete, because we don't have a market or anything, but is Charlie Morton somebody that you expect to continue his good pitching down the stretch?
Yeah, I mean, until further notice. Things can fall off with a guy like him at any point, but in this spot, who knows what the line will be, but without a line and without knowing who's starting for the Mets, I'm definitely thinking about Atlanta, but, if it comes out minus 200, then it's I'm not thinking about it anymore probably. But if it's a reasonable line, I'll probably be looking at Atlanta here, yeah.
The Rusty Kuntz play of the day is in. It is the no-run first inning in Mariners Astros. Rusty Kuntz has captured the imagination of us cappers, and graphics are on the way for old Rusty Kuntz. And we will talk about that more coming up. Okay, let's go up to a very, very interesting spot that I really wanted to hear your analysis on. 7:10 p.m. Eastern, New York Yankees, 51-47, 24-24 on the road at Tampa Bay Rays, 60-40, 30-18 at home. Tropicana Field at St. Petersburg, Florida. Montgomery, McClanahan, 2 lefties on the bump. We'll break down their stats shortly. What we do know, and Sharpie's been so good with breaking it all down, is what the Rays do against lefties. They strike out nonstop. They're only hitting 226 with a 682 OPS. Now Nelson Cruz will hopefully help that. Against lefties, the Yankees, it's the only thing they've done well all year. 253 average, 765 OPS versus lefties. They've smashed lefties. Smashed them. So Mally Mouse says Yanks hit well versus McClanahan. We'll go over all these stats, but let me lay a table for Pistol Pete Loshak and see what he has to say about this spot. This total opened up at 8, juice to the over slightly. It's now at 7.5. The Rays opened up at minus 153. They're now minus 148. A 5-cent move towards the Yankees. Pete, take it away, Yankees Rays.
Yeah, I was kind of liking the over here on the low totals. Both these starters are reliable in quality, but they both can get touched a little bit. Judge might be back for the Yankees, which would be nice, I think. This is a classic game where I'll be waiting probably to see where the line moves and see what the lineups are, and waiting, maybe an hour or half an hour before first pitch to make a move. But as of right now, I'm thinking about an over, even thinking about the first 5 over at just 4. And as a dog, I think the Yankees are a team that I want to shy away from in general right now. But as an underdog with a decent starter going, that's where I'm looking more towards them. My numbers kind of like the Yankees a little bit here. So does my gut. So vague lean to the Yankees as a dog, and vague leans to the over at 7.5 and the first 5 over at 4.
Interesting, and makes sense to me. Let's dive in a little deeper and then decide if we want to pull the trigger. There's Ron Crawford in the house. Says, good morning, fellas. Ron Crawford swept the week on our show with his spreadsheet play of the days. Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, cash from our Ron Crawford. I love the man. Okay, let's go into this a little deeper. I think those overs and your lean towards them makes sense. Montgomery, 3-5, 3.96 ERA, 1.18 WHIP, 104 2/3, 105 Ks, 31 walks, 12 home runs. I was quite impressed with his back-to-back starts. I know he ended up the Yankees ended up losing both games, but against the Red Sox, back-to-back starts, very difficult. We're going to see how Robbie Ray handles it for the Jays, but it's difficult. They're a tough baseball team. 5 2/3 in this last start. 5 2/3, 3 hits, no earned runs allowed. 1 walk, 6 Ks in what turned out to be a 5-4 extra inning loss at Fenway. McClanahan, 4-3, 3.88 ERA, 1.25 WHIP, 65 innings, 78 Ks, 22 walks, 9 home runs in his last start. 5 innings, 4 hits, 1 earned run, 1 walk, 7 Ks, and a 9-3 win at home versus the Orioles. And the Orioles, they've slowed down, but they do hit lefties quite well. So there we go. Now let's move over to the baseball data against these pitchers. Here we go. Against Montgomery, the Rays are hitting 191 with a 675 OPS, 68 at-bats, 13 hits. So that's 8 singles and 5 homers. 8 singles, 5 homers. Against McClanahan, 455, 1.409 OPS, but a very small sample size, just 11 at-bats. So they're 5 for 11 with 2 doubles and a homer. And the spreadsheet play of the day is in. The spreadsheet play of the day is in. It is on the Texas Rangers. I love that game. I can't wait to talk about that game. I've already made one bet on that game, and it's easily one of my favorite and most exciting games for us to break down. So it's cool that spreadsheet play of the day is on the Rangers. I'm just going to pop that in. That's the Dunning, the Dunning-Widener start. So, and that's the Dirty Kate prop as well. That's going to be a fascinating breakdown. I can't wait to get there. But here, leaning overs for Pete Loshak. Let's go where the cash lies in this spot. I think this will help tell the tale. So we have 57% of the tickets, 71% of the cash on the Rays. You had a 5-cent move towards the Yankees. Then we have 34% of the tickets on the under and 65% of cash on the under. Now, that could have been easily at 8, and that forced a move to 7.5. So I'm not sure exactly what to do here. Big Ragu on Yanks minus 1.5 plus 205.
No, big Ragu. Nice. Yeah. I'm leaning Yankees, and probably they either lose 6-1 or win by more than 1. Yeah. Even though, I mean, the Rays have, a bullpen that I don't want to fade. So if they're winning, it's probably because the bullpen does. Yeah, big Ragu. Shout out to big Ragu.
So very, very interesting. And it sounds like it's Jake Kaiser's birthday. I see a shout out from our Razor Sharp Picks, but I don't see Jake in the chat. Is Jake in the chat celebrating his birthday with us? All right, I'm going to copy and paste a couple things here very quickly, and then we'll decide exactly what to do here. Okay, so first off, Rich G's on Yanks Rays first 5 under 4. Says Yankees haven't hit McClanahan. Well, they have, but they haven't seen him much. They've hit him very hard, but they haven't seen much, and they don't score from Montgomery. The Rays don't hit lefties. Interesting. We have Gambler's first glance. That is on the Giants at plus 112 versus the Dodgers. That is another very fascinating game. I'm going to pop that in here so we can discuss that. And, wow, Michael Everlina says Blackhawks are getting Marc-Andre Fleury. The Blackhawks are going all in with Taves coming back and with another year of Kane playing at this very high level. I love the Seth Jones pickup. That excites me beyond comprehension. But we're talking baseball right now. Okay, so Ramon Scott says, are the sharps actually on the Yanks here? It certainly feels that way with a 5-cent move. But in saying that, we just had another edition, so there's now 2,800 days, now 29%. Just 29% of the money line cash on the Yanks. After hearing all those stats and hearing what the cappers in the chat are on, I'm nervous about this game. Are you going to pull the trigger on anything here, Pete?
No, I feel like you're doing all these like great statistical breakdowns, and I'm going like, Mike Moore sucks. I might take the Nats. Shout out to Big Ragu. All right, no, this game it's a tough one. This is a game where I might do a little bit more research, and my numbers like the Yankees and the over a little bit, which I understand why some people might be scratching their heads on. But my numbers like the Yankees and the under. I even like the over a little bit at 8. Like it a little bit more at 7.5 though. So I'm gonna wait right now. No official pick for me.
When you said that your lean was to the over, it made sense to me. It really made sense to me.
My numbers like the over. My numbers are okay. Yeah, I'm sure you can find a lot better numbers, even from people in the chat. But my numbers like the over a little bit, and the Yankees a little bit. I didn't pull the trigger yet on either of them, but I might. And the first 5 over it likes a little bit.
I mean, a 5-cent move towards the Yankees when all of this cash is on the Rays, and you're getting a nice plus line on the Yankees. I think this makes sense. I really do. I'm going to need to sit on it longer, but Yanks and over does make sense to me. Okay, let's roll on. And no official plays in the Yankees-Rays spot. We move over to 7:10 p.m. Eastern. St. Louis Cardinals 50-50, 22-30 on the road at Cleveland Indians 49-48, 25-22 at home, and that brings us to the taint play of the day. The taint play of the day has won 2 straight. He's on the under 9.5 at -115, and I love hearing it because it was something I wanted to attack, and I thought I was going to beat the market move. I thought I'd wake up and it'd be 8.5. I'd feel very good about myself. I'm on the under 9 at -105, and I'm very nervous about it now. But knowing that Taint is on it as well gives me some added confidence, even though he got a much better line than I did. Taint play of the day, St. Louis, Cleveland, full game under 9.5 at -115. Progressive Field in Cleveland, Ohio. Wainwright going up against Quantrill. And I know, Quantrill would have been up earlier. It feels like that Indians brass don't have enormously high hopes for Cal Quantrill, but he's been very good in 4 starts this year. We know that Wainwright has had issues with these home road splits, but I took a deep dive into his road splits. That first start of the year, he went 2 1/3, and he allowed 6 or 7 runs in that very first start of the year on the road. There's actually only been one other spot all year on the road that he's been hit hard. Other than that, he's been pretty good on the road. But if you just go to his splits, his home numbers are much better than his road numbers. But if you go to the baseball data against Wainwright, they're hitting 140 with a 447 OPS. These Indians are just 6 for 43, 3 singles, 2 doubles, 1 home run. And against Quantrill, in 18 at-bats, just 4 singles against Quantrill. I like the under. The market move made me very scared. The weather, I know it's hot, but 5 miles per hour in, the weather doesn't even really push towards the over. Pete, should I be concerned? What do you think that Taint and I are both on the under?
Yeah, I don't really have an opinion on the total. I hope you cash. I can see the under. This one I did jump on St. Louis on the overnight line, and I did get it at plus 100, so that's nice. It's moved in St. Louis's favor. I'm not completely sold on Quantrill here. Wainwright is, when you're talking about a veteran like Wainwright, a lot of times I'll throw out, I don't even bother looking at home road splits and stuff like that. He's a reliable guy. He knows what he's doing. And at the line, I took St. Louis, and I definitely like him full game and first 5 here as well. And actually thinking about the St. Louis team total over. But those are the plays that I'm leaning on. I might double up on this one because I kind of like St. Louis right now. I've started to ride them since they've gotten healthier and mostly been pretty successful with that. And it's another spot where I'm just kind of riding the St. Louis train here. Wainwright against Quantrill, the starting pitching matchup, I like as well. So I like St. Louis here. I think I'm going to make an official play. I might double up on it, and I might take St. Louis first 5 team total over or a full game team total over, but could easily see St. Louis winning 7-1. And I cash, you cash, everyone cash. Everyone's a winner. St. Louis, Cleveland. Yeah, that's how I feel about this game, Jimmy Bank.
Very interesting. So now we have both Pete and Gas Station Sushi wanting to back the Cardinals day in and day out now as they become healthier, as they're better than their record indicates.
Oh, I am back. I'm not just wanting to. I am backing the Cardinals, Jimmy. I'm a pussy in general, but sometimes I take action, and I have taken action on that.
I like it. By the way, Yaya says, tell Pete I love him, please.
Oh, man. That does mean a lot to me. You're probably thinking, Pete, does that really mean a lot to you when random people from the internet tell you they love you? The answer to that is definitely yes. Hell yeah. Shout out to you, Yayas. Hell yeah. Hell yeah.
Adam Wainwright coming off a couple really nice road starts. Last one was at home. Oh, sorry. Last one was at home for Cubs. But we do have a couple really nice road starts. That first, he started it with a really nice start in Colorado, where he always pitched well somehow in the thin air. But he's coming off a nice start. 7 innings, 6 hits, 1 earned run, 5 Ks. Cal Quantrill coming off a really nice start versus the Rays. 6 innings, 4 hits, 1 earned run, 3 walks, 2 Ks. He doesn't get strikeouts when he needs them, but he gets a lot of soft contact, and he's only allowed 7 home runs in 72 2/3. Again, we're also dealing with 2 teams that are terrible versus righties. Cards are 233 with a 688 OPS versus righties. Indians are 231, 693 OPS versus righties. The Indians' bullpen has been very poor of late, but as Rich G said, they are rested. 3.53 ERA, 1.28 whip on the season. Cards bullpen, 4.45 ERA, 1.43 whip. The middle of the Cards bullpen has been bad all year, but they have been good on the back end. So we have heard Pete liking the Cardinals. Let's just go over this move one more time here, the St. Louis-Cleveland one. So it opens up with the Indians as slight favorites, and now we see minus 120s on the board. Pinnacle holding it at minus 110, and this total, again, is at 9.5 across the board, which makes me very nervous. Let's take a look at where the cash lies in this spot. We have 2,181 tickets in. On the money line, 54% of the tickets on the Cardinals, 86% of the cash. Wow.
All right. First of all, Jimmy, I got St. Louis at plus 100, but I'll take St. Louis here full game as an official play, and I might double up on the first half as well. But let me quote the lines to you: minus 110, and the alternative run line plus 145 right now at Pinnacle, and I'm probably going to take the first 5 as well.
Wow. It just feels like the right spot, doesn't it? Okay, well, we're going to see if Pete moves on the Cardinals first 5, but
I will. I'll take, let me see. I'll search for lines here. I'm seeing minus 121, so I'll take that one at Pinnacle.
Wow. I'm going to follow suit on the Cardinals. This is going to be an addition on my card. Seeing the amount of cash on the Cardinals, seeing the confidence Pete has in the Cardinals, and watching the Indians sort of self-destruct, which we said was going to happen. We said that their record did not make sense. Well, their record was only due to the weakness of their division. So I should say it didn't make sense, but we could explain their record, and we didn't think it would continue. Wow. Okay, I'm going to jump in on the Cardinals, and I think with the market move the way it is, the minus 1 line is the only line that I can roll with. Very, very exciting. Elliot V in the house. Crystal Warren said, yeah, it didn't open up as a toss-up. So the Indians were slight favorites. Mally Mal saying under. I like hearing that. All right, excited. Nutflush on says, I've cashed many tickets in the last 2 weeks with Cards team total overs. The market will slowly catch up, but take advantage of it.
Yes, there you go. Nutflush Allen with more great advice. Yeah, I would also fully endorse a play on the Cards first 5 and full game team total overs.
And Helpful Honda even taking it to another level. Cards win World Series. Bold prediction. Jesus, Helpful Honda. They need to be buyers. They need to be serious buyers because their offense has been very troubling. It's not been very good. Peter Hansen also on the Rays. Team total over 3.5. That does make sense. All right, let's move on. A lot of action on that game. So just to review, Pete is doubling up. First 5 Cardinals, and he's on Cardinals minus 1. I moved on the under 9 and minus 105, thinking that I was going to beat a market move. In fact, I wish I had stayed off of it. Taint play today, St. Louis Cleveland full game under 9.5. All right, let's make moves. There's Unc Oliver, a.k.a. Lucky Lefty. Nice to see you. Hope Tata Booker and you are doing great. Let's move on to an extremely interesting spot. And, Pete, I have a history of a low ROI, just struggling when pitchers are seeing the opponent for the second straight time. And I don't want to simplify things. And if I was to simplify things, it feels like when a pitcher gets beaten up by an opponent, gets to face him again 5 days later, they pitch much better. And vice versa. If a pitcher shuts down an opponent, they see them 5 days later, they get touched. I don't want to simplify things to that degree, but that's sort of the way it looks. And I've struggled figuring out how to bet them. Let's talk about this spot. Toronto Blue Jays 49-47, 27-25 on the road. At Boston Red Sox 62-39, 32-20 at home. We're at Fenway Park in Boston, Massachusetts. 79 Fahrenheit, mostly cloudy, 7 miles per hour out to left. Robbie Ray. He's had a very good season. He moved his positioning on the rubber with his front foot, and it's changed a lot for him this year. 8-5, 3.12 ERA, 1.05 WHIP, 112 in the third, 142 Ks. He's always been able to get strikeouts, but the alarming number is the 27 walks. His K to walk ratio has been so much better than it has been in years prior. Last start at home in Buffalo versus this Red Sox squad, he got touched by them. And a lot of you guys, especially Big Ragu, but a lot of you guys were all over Boston in this spot. It was extremely impressive. You were all over Boston at a big plus line, and you were rewarded. Robbie Ray allowed 4 earned runs, 3 homers, 1 walk, 4 Ks, and a 7-4 loss. Garrett Richards is so vulnerable on the mound. He seems so vulnerable. Earlier in the year, Gas Station Sushi compared Garrett Richards to hot Chinese food garbage. 6-5, 4.99 ERA, 1.63 WHIP, 97 in the third, 78 Ks, 44 walks, 14 home runs. They stopped using the spider tack, and his velocity goes down on some pitches 9 miles an hour on some of his, curves, and then he sort of rights the ship a little bit, but then he doesn't look very good in a 7-4 win at the Jays. 4 hits, 4 earned runs. Actually, that is the 4 hits, 3 earned runs, 1 walk, 5 Ks. And he goes 5 2/3. Jays smash righties, 267, 790 OPS. Red Sox smash lefties, 259, 761 OPS. Jays bullpen is bad. They're a bad bullpen, but their numbers aren't terrible. The Red Sox bullpen's been the big surprise of the year for me so far. 3.56 ERA, 1.35 WHIP. All right, Pete, I'm going to give you a line, and I can't wait to watch you attack this game. This total opened up at 10.5. It's now at 11. I was expecting that market move. The Jays open up at -118, an 11-cent move towards them to -129. Take it away, Pete.
Yeah, I mean, I do like the Rays to hit Richards here at least a little bit. It's a 3.5 team total. I haven't bet this one yet, which might surprise some people. And I have been auto fading Richards for a while, and I did auto fade him at least with the team totals in his last start. And I overall I've done well doing that. I haven't bet them yet, but I don't know if I'm going to, but I'm probably going to, run a few more numbers and see where the lines move. Yes, I would. I think that Richard's struggles are definitely fundamental, and Ray is a good candidate for a bounce back. Although on the road here against this lineup at Fenway, I could see him getting hit again here. My numbers actually don't like Toronto here, but they think the lines are roughly accurate. Lean to the Toronto team total overs, but it's a pass for me as of right now.
We got our guy MMA Locker Room Millie in the house. Thank you for joining us. Says this is the best morning show since Regis and Kathy.
Oh, I can do a Regis impression, but we don't have time for that. Let's go on.
Robbie Ray against the Red Sox, 244. You could give a Regis impression, and our producer Jose would have no idea who you're speaking.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, I did a Cat Stevens impression the last show. I was like, "This is gonna kill." Everyone was like, "Who the hell is that?" I was like, "All right, forget it."
I fucking loved it. I love it. Okay,
I can do a Jerry Garcia impression too. People are like, Jerry who? What? All right, let's just move on. Let's do cat baseball.
244, 956 OPS against Ray. So 29 for 119. 29 for 119. 13 of those 29 hits, jacks. 13 home runs out of those 29 hits. And then against Garrett Richards, 297, 838 OPS. This game made me extremely uncomfortable. It made me extremely uncomfortable. Clearly, the bet I would have made over the last 3 years when I was not succeeding in MLB would have been the over right away. I would have bet the over, but I can't do the simple thing in MLB. I can't do it. But a lot of cappers here backing Blue Jays and Nasty Nate demanding Regis.
All right, maybe a little bit later. I want to just give me a couple of seconds here. I'm stressed. I'm spazzing out about fucking Garrett Richards here, so I need to focus on that. But shout out to Nasty Nate. 2,282
tickets in, 59% of the tickets and 77% of the cash on the Jays. So those of you on the Jays, the market's moving towards them. We can explain it perfectly, and you should feel comfortable. Then on the total, 55% of the tickets and 64% of the cash on the under. The question is, when did they bet it? Did they bet it at 11? Probably. It's a tricky thing. And there, Johnny K saying Jay's under. Okay.
I actually did a Regis impression at an SBR Bash once, Jimmy the Bag, and it was taped, but I think that channel was deleted. So I mean, it was years ago. It was like
in Mexico, right? I think I've heard of this in Mexico.
Something like that. Yeah, we did a trivia contest. I don't even remember what the hell it was, but we brought people up, and I was doing Regis for them. All right, let's move on. We're running behind here.
Well, they were very lucky to have you, and we are so thankful that we have you here on Pub Sports Radio. Okay, so with all that said, it's Britt in the house. Great to see you, it's Britt. With all that said, I think I'll just stay off this spot, I'm just going to stay off the spot. But then, so what is scaring me? Because I think the Jays will get to Garrett Richards. So what is scaring me? I mean, let me just do one very, very quick thing, and I apologize that I know.
Yeah, I mean, considering the Red Sox lineup and the Jays pen, if I was going to fade Richards here, I would not try to get too cute, ironically, by taking like a full game on Toronto or something like that. I'd just take team total overs.
Yes.
Because I think that Ray and the pen versus the Boston lineup, a lot of uncertainty there. A 7-inning 1-run start would not be a surprise at all. But one of these 5-inning 4-run starts and then a few more for Boston later on would not be a surprise either. So low confidence here for me as far as what to expect Ray versus the Sox lineup.
And look at Garrett Richards at home. 2-3 with a 6.55 ERA, and opponents rating 347 against them.
Yeah, I mean, he sucks. Shout out to Big Ragu.
So then the Blue Jays first 5, but then you have to trust Ray. So do you think that it's possible that Ray – you just broke it down for me. I don't need that. Okay, so sorry. I guess if I had a free play, I take that first 5 over, but the market's moved to – and I'm not going to sit here and chase – it opened up at 5.5. It's now at 6, and I went over this. 2 hours ago. I was like, do I expect 7 runs in the first 5? Probably, but look, I'm going to be off of it. Okay. And Rich D says, no sense trying to pick who's going to win this game between these two bums. Overs. Rich D says, first 5 Red Sox team total over 2.5 is my look. All right, Big Show Picks in the house. Great to see you, Big Show Picks. It's Britt running hot right now. 9-2-1 on the show. Respect. Let's get to work here. I'm off this spot. Let's move on to 8:05 p.m. Eastern. And this is a game I've been so excited to talk about. Arizona Diamondbacks at Texas Rangers. Diamondbacks 31-70, 12-40 on the road. At the Texas Rangers 35-65, 22-25 at home at Globe Life Field in Arlington, Texas. It's ridiculously hot in Texas right now, so the roof will be closed. We have Taylor Widener, Dan Dunning. So we have a couple things going on here. First, I'm already on the first 5 under 4.5 at -105. Ron Crawford has a spreadsheet play of the day on the Texas Rangers, and he is sitting white hot here on the show. He swept the week last week, and he's on the Texas Rangers here. Not only that, but we have Guapo Man, the Dirty K prop of the day. Joining us right now, please welcome to the show, Sharpie in the house. What's up, Sharpie?
Oh, shit.
Shit, man. Been on the damn freaking phone all day with my goddamn lawyer, man. I had a fucking fatty over last night, bro. Called an Uber, bro. And those motherfuckers charged me for a group ride this morning I seen, bro. That's some fucking shit, boys.
Get your lawyer on that shit right away. But I know you have the cash to pay for that lawyer, as you have been running hot, Sharpie. You've been running hot. And the low baggers want to know, where does the Dirty K prop lie? Does it lie with Taylor Widener? 1-0 on the year, 3.55 ERA, 1.27 whip, 33 innings, 33 Ks, 11 walks, 7 home runs. Has not seen the opposition. Last start was ugly. 11-6 win at home over the Pirates. He went 4 2/3, allowed 5 earned runs, 8 hits, 2 homers. Or is it with Dane Dunning, who's had a surprisingly good year? 4.30 ERA, 1.42 whip, maybe not great, but the 87 Ks and 83 2/3 impressive, 87 Ks to 29 walk ratio, coming off a 4-1 loss at Detroit, where he didn't pitch too poorly, 3 earned runs in 4 2/3, and both these teams the worst in the league against righties. Sharpie, where does it lie? Where does it lie? Where's the Dirty K prop lie, baby?
It lies with Taylor Widener, guys, former Yankees 12th round pick. He's only thrown 55 innings, period, guys, in the last 2 years. He's only thrown 30 this year. He's only had 2 starts since April. So, and those were in July. If we break those down, he went 4.1 inning and 4.2 innings. He went 63 pitches the first time, 80 pitches the next time. I'm seeing 90 to 95 this time coming up. Texas Rangers, since the All-Star break, is the worst fucking team in baseball, guys. They're batting below 180. Their OPS, they're slugging. All that crap tells me Widener's going at least 5 innings. And at 4.5, it is at minus 153. It is super juiced. I'm sorry. I'm like O.J. Simpson. Give me the fucking juice. But I will throw a little bit on that 5.5 at plus money too. But I will have more on the 4.5. The Texas Rangers, since the All-Star break, are striking out guys at a 28.5% of the clip. Widener, when he's gone up against the Dodgers, they were at 24.5. The Pirates were at a 16% clip. He had 8 strikeouts versus that team who had a 16% clip. We're going up against a team who's just going downhill, guys. I'm on the Arizona Diamondbacks first 5 at plus 130, and I'm on Widener's K prop over 4.5 at minus 153.
Arizona first 5. Was that plus 130?
Yeah, Connor had it at like plus 138 on his book last night when we were breaking it down. Arizona, since the All-Star break, is like top 10 average batting wise. They've been hitting.
Ooh, very, very, very interesting. Widener over 4.5 Ks at minus 154, but also the 5.5 at plus money slightly will be on our man Sharpie's card. This is a fascinating game, Pete. What do you think about this spot? Globe Life Field, Arlington, Texas.
Yeah, who was it that liked Texas in this game?
That was Ron Crawford. Ron Crawford.
Yeah, I mean, I was agreeing basically with Sharpie's analysis, but between Sharpie and Ron Crawford, I definitely trust Ron Crawford, so no, I'm just kidding. I just said that just because you're on camera, so we get the reaction, we get the joke. No, but listen, I'm agreeing with you. My numbers like the Texas team total under, and they like Arizona first 5. I've been betting on Arizona a bit, including when Gallen started against the Cubs. Remember, I gave it an official pick in this shot, so I've been on Arizona's resurgence a bit. My numbers like Arizona first 5 and Texas full game team total under, so probably the Widener strikeout prop is even better. But the fact that I'm agreeing here with Sharpie makes me extremely nervous. And going against Ron Crawford, no, it's another joke, just a joke. Look, that's my opinion, Jimmy the Bag. Texas team total under and Arizona first 5, maybe on the run line is what I like. Slightly into the under as well, full game both teams. But yeah, I can't believe Ron Crawford likes Texas that much. My numbers hate them.
A very, very, very interesting spot. So Texas opening up at minus 140, still there, minus 140.
Yeah. I would have to say that if Arizona, if the team total goes under for Texas and Arizona wins the first 5, then definitely probably definitely Widener gets 5 strikeouts. So probably Sharpie's strikeout prop is much better than either of my plays here.
Ramon Scott backing the Widener strikeout prop from our Sharpie says Widener struck out 8 versus the Pirates on July 20th in just 4 2/3. That was 11-6 win at home over the Pirates. We got DJ Big Boss in the house, whom we love.
Shout out to DJ
really,
Big Boss.
very, very interesting. Well, let's see where the cash lies in this Sharpie spot. Here we go. Sorry, that is not. Here we go. Where is it? Okay, here we go. So we have 2,067 tickets in. 66% of the tickets on the Rangers, 72% of the cash. And no market move. Still sitting at minus 140. Very interesting. And then 72% of the tickets on the over, 96% of the cash on the over.
Wow.
That makes me a little uncomfortable. Robert Allen says, hearing on local sports radio news that the Texas Rangers players are whining and pouting in the locker room and have lost all their confidence at the plate, and Woodward's not helping them at all. We have Matty Ice. Matty Ice was first row right behind the plate in that Tigers-Rangers game. I believe it was game 3 of that series. And he was like, look at their body language. He's like, these guys are they're sad. They are sad ball players. Extremely interesting spot. Sharpie on Taylor Widener. Dirty K prop over 4.5 And I'm on the first 5 under 4.5, which makes me a little nervous now, seeing all the money on the over. We have the spreadsheet play of the day on the Texas Rangers. Sharpie also on Arizona first 5 plus 130, which correlates to what Pete wants to do. Is Pete going to pull the trigger?
Yeah, you know what? I will. I'll do it. Shout out to Ron Crawford. I'd rather be on your same side as you, but than against you. But what the hell? We're having a good time here. We're making some picks. We're giving some opinions, and we'll take a shot with Arizona first 5 innings. I'll take the run line plus a half, and I'll quote a line right now. I'm seeing 125 at minus 125 at Heritage. I might get better at Pinnacle. I'll make that an official play, although I don't like going against. And I mean, I could easily see Widener having one of those games where he gets like 8 strikeouts but gives up 3 home runs, and he gets crushed, but the strikeout prop still cashes. See that all the time. See that like from Aaron Nola for like 4 starts in a row or something. So, but I'm going to take. I'll go with what my numbers say. Arizona first 5 plus a half.
Very, very, very exciting. I need to spend a little bit more time. I like the Widener prop. I'm going to see what I can get at my book on it, but giant shout out to our David Sharpie in the house, taking a little time off of the BBWs. Very difficult, but he's taking a little bit of time to relax and to regroup and to charge up and to get that load filled. Sharpie, any last words before you get back to the tasks at hand?
Man, just a real quick pointer for you big girls out there. If you're 350 on Earth, you'd be 134 on Mars. I love you, baby.
Ooh, look at that. What a gentleman warrior he is. There he is, Sharpie, Dirty K, prop of the day, Taylor Widener. Couldn't have timed that kiss.
Yeah.
I mean, that's just timing.
I like that guy. He's committed to his gimmick. He's sitting. He's like, I need a gimmick. What am I going to do? There's 8 billion people in the world. How am I going to stand out? He comes up with the BBW thing, and he's committed 100%. That's the way success in life. Whatever you come up with, commit 100%. And there's an example of it right there. Shout out to Sharpie. But his picks have been doing well, though, right?
Very well. Very well. Sharpie right now on our show, Dirty K prop, 40 wins, 26 losses, hitting at 60.6%. 60.6%. And
right.
shut up.
I'm going to make Arizona first 5. The line is 118, minus 118 at Pinnacle, plus a half.
That's definitely. That's much better than the minus 125. Let me lock that in for you. God, I love having him on the show, and Pub Sports Radio, very lucky to have him, and he's going to be on a lot more shows for us moving forward. Nigel Lee, big shout out to you. A little $5 dono for us. Thank you so much, man. He says, hey, fellas, just a little something for your hard work. Going to ride that taint under 9.5. A 1-pick Jack Sock in tennis, ATP at Atlanta, minus 163. Nigel Lee, thank you so much for everything that you do. Your support of us means the world. And look at Big Ragu. Big Ragu coming in with a dono. Big Ragu, come on. We very, very kind, but we want your pockets, all of your pockets, to fatten. Yeah. That's what we want. We want them to fatten. We don't want it. We want.
Hey, Pub Sports Radio, hit me up with $15 of that, okay? Thanks. I'd appreciate it.
Right, well, I don't need it. We have the best boss I've ever had in Jeff Slaughter. So big shout out to Slaughter. All right, let's roll on right now. That was Rangers Diamondbacks. Let's move on to 8:05 p.m. Eastern. Cincinnati Reds at Chicago Cubs. Reds are 51-49, 25-23 on the road. At Chicago Cubs, 50-51, 31-18 at home. We're at Wrigley Field in Chicago, Illinois. 86 Fahrenheit, clear, 9 miles per hour, out to right center. So here's the spot where our Deacon Mike has been just milking the books. At Bovada, he's been hammering the over 2.5 home runs every game with these Cubbies. It's at minus 110 today, but usually he's getting a plus line, getting minus 110 with the wind blowing out to right center. And Vladimir Gutierrez, maybe he's hitting the rookie wall. 4-3, 4.97 ERA, 1.45 whip, 37 Ks, 25 walks, 11 home runs. His last start was bad. It was at home versus the Mets. He got touched for 6 earned runs, 3 homers. He looked bad. 1 K in 4 innings. And our guy, Big Show, dropping the Discord link. Everybody jump on the Discord where we can hang out together and talk all day and night, breaking down games. Sharpie on there all the time. Tiki Mike says Cubs-Cincy game sucks for betting. But Alzolay's 0-6 in his last 7 games and not many batter pitcher stats between the two teams, but when slightly blowing out, taking the over 2.5 home runs again. All right, so Alzolay not looking good as well. His last start, 3 earned runs, 2 homers, and a 3-2 loss at the Cardinals. I thought Alzolay had hit the rookie wall, and I guess I was wrong. Has Vladimir Gutierrez, the 25-year-old Cuban, hit the rookie wall? The Reds hit 254, 760 OPS versus righties. Cubs just 219, 687 OPS versus righties. The Reds bullpen almost 2 full runs worse over 9 than the Cubs bullpen over the year. But the Reds bullpen is improving a bit. We know these teams have a lot of hate for each other. Pete, I'm going to give you a market line and then watch you roll here in this spot. We have this total opening up at 9.5. It's gone up a full run to 10.5. And then we have the Cubs opening up at minus 151 and taking 29 cents of market movement now at minus 180. Take it away, my man.
Yeah, this might be, people were looking for an example before of don't overthink it. First 5 over 5.5. Alzolay, of course, I've been fading, most of the time, and people in the comments section have been talking about why that's a good idea. We've gotten a lot of great reads on him statistically. And Gutierrez, is I think people are getting, figuring out what to do with him. His stuff isn't great. First 5 over 5.5 is kind of a no-brainer play.
First 5 over 5.5. Very, very into this. Gas station sushi in the house. We've talked about you a few times already on the show. Thank you for joining us. RTT, thank you also for joining us. Interesting. Very,
all right, I'm going to make that an official play. I'm not going to overthink. If it loses, it loses. I'll get at least minus 114 at Pinnacle. That's the line I'll take. Over 5.5, minus 114. If it loses, it loses.
I think that makes sense. It did open up at 5. It's now at 5.5. Nigel Lee has tossed in another $5, and he's called you kiddo.
Oh, hell yeah. You called me something? Hold on. I'm typing in my pick here, Jimmy the Bag. Okay. Over 5.5, minus 114. That's the current line right now.
Pete, first 5.
Oh, he gave me 5. Oh, thanks. Thanks very much. Thanks. I appreciate it. Oh, thanks. All right. I'm going to keep a running track of how many of these donations were specifically for me. Appreciate it. I need it, guys. I need it, boys. No, I don't need it. I don't need it. Keep your money. Your money.
5 over 5.5 minus 114. It seems to make a lot of sense. Crystal Warren says, until they move Suarez down the batting order or bench him entirely, I'm staying away from the Reds. Robert Down says, dude, bias last night after he hit the walk-off. I don't know how that didn't cause a massive brawl. That was the most disrespectful walk to first base I've ever seen in my life. Rowe is on the Reds' first 5. Rich G says, Tate seems to be out on Gutierrez. He's fallen off hard. Pete, your bet makes a ton of sense. It makes a ton of sense. I'm going to look into it further, but I think this is going to be a tail for me. Let's move on. We move on to 8:10 p.m. Eastern. Chicago White Sox 59-41, 24-24 on the road at Kansas City Royals, 43-55, 26-24 at home. I want to give a quick shout out to our guy Shannon, who in the chat when the White Sox were up against the Tigers in Game 1 of that series talked about the highest ROI that there is when a team is on a 7-game plus winning streak and switches cities. And we talked about how all the early money was on the Kansas City Royals in that spot, and an hour and a half later the public came in and started hammering the Tigers, and Shannon talked about the great opportunity it was for the Royals, and that was an easy casher. And then Casey Mize, I know he cost a lot of people a lot of cash against the Royals. The Royals are playing pretty good baseball right now when everyone's given up on them. Kauffman Stadium, Kansas City, Missouri, 92 Fahrenheit, humid, 6 miles per hour sideways. I came close to moving on the first 5 under and stopped, said, you know what, let's just talk it out with everybody. Dylan Cease on the bump for the White Sox, 7-6, 4.21 ERA, 1.31 whip, 102 2/3, 132 Ks, 43 walks, 13 home runs. Last start was okay. It was 7-2 loss at home versus the Twins. He allowed 7 hits, 3 earned runs in 5 innings, 2 walks, 5 Ks. Brad Keller is starting to turn his season around. Still terrible numbers overall, 5.84 ERA, 1.72 whip. But he's coming off a nice start at the Brewers. A quality start. He went 6 2/3, allowed 6 hits, 3 earned runs, 2 walks, 6 Ks, and a 6-3 win. And the Brewers' bats have been hot lately. White Sox smash righties, 250, 746 OPS. Royals don't, 242, 691 OPS. White Sox bullpen has been middling throughout the year, 4.16 ERA, 1.30 whip. Royals bullpen has improved slightly over the last little while, 4.69 ERA, 1.39 whip. Let's give Loshak a market and watch him roll here. We have the first 5 total is at moved up from. Actually, it's come back. It's been bouncing around 5.5 and 5 all day. Interesting. So Intertop still has it at 5. So does Bet Online, Heritage, Bodog, but UWager has it at 5.5, and Pinnacle has it at 5.5. That's the first 5, and then full game money lines and totals here. We have the White Sox opening up at -134. They're now -145, an 11-cent move at Pinnacle, and this total's gone from 10 to 9.5. Pete, take it away.
Well, this is going to be a pass for me. Keller, I've gotten burned with a few times this year, betting on him to continue to get hit and not being the case. Apparently, he's made some mechanical adjustments, which is the reason for his turnaround. Not sure how. A lot of times, start pitchers with like Keller will make mechanical adjustments and go from being terrible to decent for a short period of time, and then it'll come back, and the mechanical adjustments kind of don't really matter anymore. Also, Jimenez coming back for the White Sox is big, so it's just a pass for me.
A pass. And Puzzler saying KC is a super hot hitter in Soler, so they're probably not playing him today. And then Mal trying to figure out, we don't know what the lineup is at this point. So I have a lean towards this under, and I wonder if it is available at 5.5 right now, because it was at 5. It was at 5 at +100. It's still at 5 at +100. So I'm going to wait to see if the 5.5 comes out. Not according to RotoWire, he's not expected to be in the lineup, says Puzzler. Let's take a look at where the cash lies here. You have 71% of the tickets on the White Sox and 89% of the cash. Interesting. And then 58% of the tickets on the over, but just 22% of the cash on the over. And that's with 3,064 tickets in. So that's the reasoning easily why the full game total's gone from 10 to 9.5. If you had a free play on the first 5, Pete, at 5.5, where would you go?
Oh God, I don't even know. I guess if I had a free play on the on the total.
Yeah.
Oh, that's a tough one, Jimmy the Bag. I don't know. I really don't even know. I guess I'd throw it on the over, but I don't know.
Okay, well then I'm gonna have to.
No, I don't listen to me at all. I have no idea. I mean, Keller is a wild card. Cease is like a 5-inning, 3-run type guy, so it's tough.
Yeah, no, I hear that. I'm happy that I talked it out. Okay, let's keep rolling on. We get to 8:10 p.m. Eastern. Detroit Tigers 47-55, 19-33 on the road at Minnesota Twins 43-58, 24-28 at home. We're at Target Field in Minneapolis, Minnesota. 91 Fahrenheit, partly cloudy, 8 miles per hour in. We have Tyler Alexander, the lefty, whose last start 7-5 win at home versus the Rangers. He just went 3 2/3, 3 hits, 1 earned run, 1 walk, 4 Ks. They do not want him to see a lineup too many times. Kenta Maeda on the other hill, 4-4, 4.63 ERA, 1.33 WHIP, 85 Ks and 79 2/3, 24 walks. His last start was decent, 3-2 loss at home versus the Angels. Quality start, 7 hits, 3 earned runs, 1 homer, 0 walks, 6 Ks. I've been waiting for him to start pitching better, and I think he has, but I don't know if we can trust the Minnesota Twins right now. The Tigers versus righties, 237, 707 OPS. Twins versus lefties, 248, 740 OPS. You can imagine that those numbers will dip without Nelson Cruz in the lineup. Both bullpens have been bad. And the Tigers bullpen, you can't trust Funkhauser in that spot leading into Soto. Soto's been excellent, but I don't know who else you can trust in that bullpen. And every time I start thinking, oh, look, this bullpen's coming together, they get on the road and they look terrible. 5.14 ERA, 1.49 WHIP. Twins bullpen, 4.85 ERA, 1.36 WHIP. We'll go over baseball data. We'll go over where the cash is. But let's hear Pete's take on this Twins-Tigers spot. This full game total opened up at 9.5. It's now at 9. The Twins opened up at -210. They're now at -184, a 26-cent move towards the Detroit Tigers. Pete, take it away.
Yeah, I don't really have anything on this game. Obviously, Detroit I've actually been betting on recently. They're sort of like the poor man's St. Louis Cardinals. I think they're a little bit underrated and undervalued right now. But this spot, I don't really like them. Maeda is very solid and reliable in general. Sometimes gives up 3, sometimes gives up 0. Gets crushed once in a while, but in general, pretty reliable. And, Detroit's going to be going with a bullpen game. My numbers think that the lines are pretty accurate and come with low confidence. So it's just a total pass for me. If you gave me a free play, I'd take Minnesota to win again.
Yeah. But a lot of talk in the chat. How could they possibly be this big of favorites? There's Dennis Trusty, and now it's DX Filer. Rye Cape says take that plus money with the Tigers. Piker Our man, Poker Addicted 79, Piker says there's no difference in quality of starters or team makeup, especially first five, catching nearly $2 to take the Tigers here. Standard system play on the Tigers.
My numbers say that Maeda is reliable, and the situation for Detroit is up in the air as far as the pitching is concerned.
Schnizzle, Ohio's finest in the house, and as soon as I can safely take my family across the border, we're going to Cleveland. Kenta Maeda at this big of a price. And this Minnesota team that's just mailing it in here. Rich G says been cashing with Tigers team total overs. They've been hitting, and books haven't adjusted. I'm on Tigers first five team total over 1.5. I get it. I guess this ends up being a no move for me. Row on the Tigers money line as well. Turnsy saying Holt be officially on waiver. Look, Benning is he's just fucked our team. He's fucked our team so hard. He's put our team in every single position. He's smashed our team off of walls. He's flipped us upside down. He's punched us in the face. Fuck that guy. And who cares? Hope he's on with. Fuck Benning. Fuck the Canucks. All right.
I didn't know what you were talking about for a second there, Jimmy. Okay,
Sorry,
go ahead.
My fault. We move on to 9:38 p.m. Eastern. Colorado Rockies 43-57, 10-37 on the road at LA Angels 50-49, 28-22 at home. Angel Stadium in Anaheim, California. 78 Fahrenheit clear, 9 miles per hour out to right center. We have Austin Gomber on the bump for the Rockies, and he's one of the few pitchers on the Rockies that can be trusted, both away and at home. 7-5, 3.74 ERA, 1.04 WHIP, 84 and a third, 79 Ks, 24 walks, 12 home runs. In his last start, he went 6 innings, had 3 hits, 3 earned runs, all solo shots in a 6-3 win at home over the Mariners, 1 walk and 3 Ks. Going up against Jose Suarez, I do not believe he's as good as his numbers indicate. 2.85 ERA, 1.12 WHIP. His last start, he did get touched at Oakland, but he's now back home where he's been better. In that last start, he went 5 2/3, allowed 3 hits, 4 earned runs, and 1 homer. Rockies versus lefties, 262, 757 OPS. Very nice numbers, but not as strong as the Angels versus lefties, 261, 781 OPS. Both bullpens are bad, although the Rockies bullpen has been a little bit better. Mally Mal says, like Angels first 5. Let's move over to the market and watch Pete roll. Here we go. Colorado, LA. LA opening up at minus 130. They're now minus 133, a 3-cent move towards them. And this total opened up at 9.5, and it's now at 9. Pete, anything interest you here?
Yeah, I mean, Gomber is very similar to Alcantara. I think that, I'm not sure that he's fully back. He's having a lot of issues with, his first start back, he was giving up, his command wasn't really there. At some point, when he gives better signs that he's back in his groove, I'll probably be betting on him. But as of right now, it makes me nervous. Suarez is obviously nothing great, but I would be at this line. I'd be leaning Angels as well. I agree with Mally Mal here. I don't want to bet it because, of course, Gomber could come in and be completely back to where he was, and that'll mean 5 innings of shutout ball or 1 run. But pass for me. Lean to the Angels.
CT Bays on a first 5 under. Let's go over to batter versus pitcher. Something I failed to do in the White Sox Royals game, but both pitchers are good in that spot. Cease 200, 648 against the opposition, and Keller 261, 754 OPS, and Kenta Maeda 237, 707 OPS against the Tigers, and then the Twins against Alexander 321, 831 OPS. So interesting there. Here, there's no need to even mention it because the opposition has not seen Jose Suarez, and only Kurt Suzuki has seen Austin Gomber. And maybe that's part of the reason why we've gone to the first 5 under there. Kenny V on first 5 under with CT Bays. Okay.
I don't know if I like the first 5 under just because, Suarez is pretty mediocre. He can go 5 innings and give up 1 run, but he doesn't inspire confidence. And Gomber, I'm just not sure, if he's fully ready yet. He might be though. So it's an educated guess, and I'm going to pass.
And these teams smash lefties. Interesting market stuff here. We have 2,521 tickets in, 73% of the tickets, 63% of the cash on the Angels. And then we have 63% of the tickets on the under, just 19% of the cash. So some big bets made on the over. And in fact, I get that because I do not trust Suarez at this point. And we know what the Angels do to lefties. And this total is still sitting, it's gone from 9.5 down to 9. These bullpens are terrible. It's beautiful offensive weather here, 78 Fahrenheit clear, 9 miles per hour to right center. I get why someone would want to try to take the over 9. I get it. And I may do that. But I'm going to sit and wait here and study it a little more and not hum and haw. But I think that over 9 makes sense to me. Now, I have lost expecting more offense in Angels games at home so far this year, but it just feels like that would be a spot. Okay, let's move on. We have 3 games left on this card, and we start at Dodgers, Giants, and we reach razor sharp picks. Gambler's first glance, he's backing the San Francisco Giants at plus 112, and the Giants just keep on rolling now, 62-37. 62-37, and the Dodgers are a beat-up squad right now, dealing with injuries to star players. 61-40, 28-22 on the road. We're at Oracle Park in San Francisco, California. 66 Fahrenheit clear, 9 miles per hour out to straightaway center. We have Julio Urias on the bump. He's had a great year. 12-3, 3.63 ERA, 1.06 WHIP, 127 Ks in 119 innings, 25 walks to 127 Ks. Nice K to walk ratio, but 17 home runs allowed. A little bit high for the stud pitcher that he is. Going up, and his last start was at home to these Giants, and he pitched excellent. 7 innings, 3 hits, 1 earned run. It was a solo shot, 1 walk, 5 Ks, and a 4-2 loss at home. It was not his fault. The bullpen fell apart late. Going up against Logan Webb, who continues to pitch better than my eye test on him. He continues to prove that he's a strong pitcher. Logan Webb, 4-3, 3.54 ERA, 1.25 WHIP. The Giants have picked up these pitchers for nothing, and they've stepped up in a big way. His last start at the Dodgers, he went 5 innings, 3 hits, 2 earned runs, 1 home run, 3 walks, 5 Ks. The Dodgers still 248, 772 OPS versus righties. The Giants 241, 741 OPS versus lefties. The Giants bullpen being lights out of late, and the Dodgers bullpen has not. Big shout out to Don't Ask, Don't Tell in the house. Great to see you. Thank you so much for the dono, and much love to you. Don't Ask, Don't Tell in the house. Pete, I'm going to give you a market and watch you roll here. The old adage of always betting the Giants against the Dodgers has gone away a little bit because the market understands how much they've been losing in the situation. The Dodgers opened up at minus 130. They're now just minus 116. So a 14-cent move to the Giants, and this total sitting at 8.5 to the under. It was juiced at minus 115 initially, now just minus 108. Take it away, Pete.
Yeah, I took the Giants on the overnight. I didn't get 130. I got 119, which is nice, but I see it's moved, 10 or 12 cents since then. Urias is, it's my numbers indicate that my numbers actually like Webb a little bit more here than Urias, at least for a 5-inning start. I like the Giants full game. I kind of like the Giants first 5 run line plus a half, and I kind of like the Dodgers first 5 team total under at 2.5, even at the big line. Webb is someone who I would be willing to fade in certain spots. My numbers like him in this spot though, so I might double up on this one. Again, liking Giants first 5 and probably on the plus a half line, and the Dodgers first 5 team total under.
Wow. Very, very interesting breakdown. The Giants against Urias hitting 281 with a 788 OPS, and now we're seeing him 2 weeks straight. Against Webb, the Dodgers are 241, 782 OPS. Did you want to jump in, Pete?
And a little bit on the first 5 under as well at 4.5.
Wow. Extremely interesting. Let's take a look at where the cash lies in this spot.
See, that's how you know Jimmy the Bag is doing the right thing in life. You're like, I like the Giants Dodgers first 5 under 4.5, and Jim's like, wow, this blew my mind. I love it. Yes, that is genuine interest and shock and overwhelmed awe. Yes.
It's my issue with seeing these pitchers twice in the week. It's something I've always struggled with. 2,584 tickets in. 58% of the tickets and 55% of the cash on the San Francisco Giants, and the market moved towards them. And for the total, look, 44% of the tickets on the under and 87% of cash on the under. Wow, God, it feels like that first game under is screaming at me now after your analysis. So what do I make official for you here, Pete?
Let me think. All right, let's go. I feel like I'm a pretentious asshole at a restaurant. Let's do Dodgers first 5 under for 2.5. You know how they do that? Let's do the braised lamb with asparagus in a marmalade reduction. All right. Let's do Dodgers first 5 team total under 2.5 at minus 145. I'm seeing that at Heritage, and I do think I want to double up on this one. I have to just think about it for a second.
Okay. I think, and Ragu says, smash Urias, please rack them up. Our guy Big Ragu cheers against Urias every time he pitches. He beat Ragu's Ocala team he was coaching in the 2010 Cal Ripken World Series. What a guy our Big Ragu is. All right, so Pete deciding whether he's going to double dip. He's going to decide whether he's going to double dip right now. And I think, you know what, I think I should just stay away. I really do. I think I should just stay away. But seeing all the money on the under 8.5 and that slight market move towards the full game under 8.5 and knowing this is going to be like a playoff game in a pitcher's ballpark, it doesn't matter that it's 9 miles per hour to straightaway center at Oracle because we know it swirls. Pete, what's the double dip?
Okay, and let's do Giants first 5 innings plus a half run at minus 127. That's the current line at Pinnacle.
There you have it. There you have it. So your expectation is Webb to pitch very well yet again and Urias to be touched a little more. Yes. I mean, I'm the borderline of taking the first 5 under as well at 4.5 because I'm not expecting Urias to be crushed. It's just my numbers indicate that it's maybe a little bit of a more mediocre spot for him here. So, I don't want to triple up, but, I wouldn't hate a first 5 under 4.5 either. I'm probably getting too cute here. I should probably switch out the Dodgers first 5 team total under for both teams. Under 4.5 on the first 5 minus 118. My numbers like that one as well. Dennis Trusty says yummy. And what are your thoughts on the under full game?
The under full game? Oh yeah, I like that one as well. It's just I like the first 5 more.
There's our guy Top Set, OG Lowbagger, Elio in the house. Razor Sharp Pick says Giants are 6-1 their last 7 versus National League West. Giants are 13-3 in their last 6 games following an off day. So their bullpen is ripe and ready to go. Ramon Scott says Dodgers have won 9 of last 10 meetings in San Francisco. And Nate Dogg says, what does Not Flush say about the Giants game? You're right. He is our resident San Francisco Giant expert. We'd love to hear what Not Flush has to say. We move on at this point, and I think I'm going to move on that full game under 8.5. I just want a little bit more time, but I expect to move on that full game under 8.5. We'll review everything in a second here. So we move on to 10:10 p.m. Eastern. We come to a couple things here. First off, in this very interesting Houston Astros at Seattle Mariners spot at T-Mobile Park in Seattle, Washington. We have the Rusty Kuntz play of the day. That is Seattle-Houston, no-run first inning. Rusty Kuntz hitting at 10-6 on the show. 10-6, that's at 63%. Not only that, but we come to Jose's Seihei play of the day. And Pete, I have to give you a little bit of background information. Our man Jose, he was struggling. He was struggling publicly, and there was a lot of disappointment in him, and I started giving him the fatherly tough love. I started screaming in his face.
Nice.
I started screaming in his face, and he turned it around. Around. He's won 3 straight now that I've been screaming in his face. So he has 3 straight winners right now with the tough love that I've been giving him, and his record is improving. His record is improving, and he's here to join us right now, probably feeling good about himself. The Seihei play of the day is here in Astros Mariners. Please welcome to the show our man Jose.
Gentlemen, how are we doing today? Jimmy, you are right. I am feeling kind of good today.
Well, don't feel good about yourself, Jose, because you've done nothing yet. 3-game winning streak. You're still 3 units under on the season. Don't just sit there with that gorgeous mustache and those sloppy tits and think that you've done something, because you haven't done shit, Jose. You are failing on the season. Who cares that you've won 3 straight? You need 7 straight or 8 straight to get yourself out of the gutter.
Yeah.
That's accurate. Pete, do you want to add anything to that?
No, I just did. I added it in the like from Trading Places. You remember the guy in jail when Eddie Murphy's doing his thing, and the guy goes, "Yeah."
No.
He remembers none of that. He knows nothing of the world's history in social news. He doesn't know presidents. He has no idea Canada has a prime minister. He has no idea who Cat Stevens is. And
Zero. I
he's
still
over
don't.
3 games under on the season, smirking away with that beautiful mustache like he's done anything. For the friends and family that are in the chat, Jose, you pick up your game. You pick it up right now.
Okay, I will. Yes, you're right. Hey, I can't. When you get all that, Jimmy and Pete, when you get all that, sometimes you just have to say, yes, I will. And I have.
Do you know who Twisted Sister is? Have you ever seen Animal House? No? Okay, all right.
Don't waste your time. Don't waste your time. Lance McCullers, Chris Flexen going up against each other. We know how good Flexen has been at home. He's coming off a good start at home. It's a 4-1 loss versus the A's. He went 5 in the third, allowed 6 hits, 2 earned runs. Lance McCullers coming off an ugly start in the 5-4 loss at home versus the Cleveland Indians. He went 5 innings, allowed 4 earned runs. Do you trust Lance McCullers on the road? And we have the Astros with a 775 OPS versus righties, while the Mariners have a 675 OPS versus righties. Very, very interesting stuff here. How is Jose going to make this 4 straight winners?
It's a good question, Jimmy. I watched the Mariners game last night, and they've got some juice, Jimmy. They've got it. They've got this momentum building around them. You know that I think me and you talked about the Mariners coming out of the All-Star break, and they had a massive series against the A's, and it turns out they took 3 of 4 against them. 3 of 4 to put them right within striking distance of the wild card. I mean, we talked and said that a regular Mariners team would probably just fold against those A's, and we've seen them come back against the Astros last night, win 3 straight 1-run games, and I was pretty shocked to see their team total set at 3.5. 3.5 is their team total. As our man CT Bays in there comments and says that Flexen's good on the road too, and a dog price. I like that, but I'm focusing on their team total. It's over 3.5. At the beginning of the show, it was at 101, plus 101, and now we're sitting at plus 104 on Pinnacle. So I like that number. I think that maybe, Lance McCullers says he has a bounce back start. We get 7. That's optimistic. 7 strong innings from Lance. The Astros bullpen, as we saw last night, capitulated. I think that this team is good enough to get those runs late. But let's hope not. I mean, I think Lance McCullers could give those runs up early. So I'm on the Seattle Mariners tonight. A rare time I'm on them. Team total over 3.5.
Team total over 3.5. Our man Jose going for his 4th straight victory here. Let's take a look here at a couple things. We're going to start with baseball data here. Against McCullers, the Mariners are hitting 197 with a 612 OPS. Against Flexen, the Astros 370 with an 821 OPS. Let's take a look at the market move and then hear what Pistol Pete has to say about this spot. It opened, originally it was juiced to the under 8.5. It is now moved to 8. It is now 8 at almost every book. Also, the Astros opened up at minus 136. They're now at minus 157. That is a 21-cent move towards them. A 21-cent move with 3,177 tickets in. 62% of the tickets on the Astros, 75% of the cash. And then, interestingly enough, 49% of the tickets on the over at 93% of the cash. And, we don't know when, at what number those tickets came in. Pistol Pete, take it away. Here we go, Seattle, Houston.
Team total 3.5, huh?
Yeah, I was pretty surprised to see it. And Lance McCullers, it's not like he's a bad pitcher, has a bad start. That's kind of usually when I like betting pitchers coming off of it. He actually has a better road ERA than home. It's pretty different too. His home record or his home ERA is a 3.35, and away it's a 2.66. So I was pretty surprised to see that as well. But that's why I mentioned it. Say Lance McCullers does have a good start. I don't believe in the Astros bullpen. And I think the Astros bullpen folding like this is just the push they need to go acquire someone like a Craig Kimbrell, like my man Mills was saying in the chat earlier, someone like that. So it's a place they need. So I see it hurting them tonight and then them fixing it in the next coming days.
Well, we've agreed on a lot, Jose, you and me, in life in general so far in the few days that we've known each other. But this one, I don't know. I didn't bet the under, but I don't necessarily like that bet too much. I didn't bet it, and I'm probably not going to. But I'm thinking about making it an official play on the show, though. You know what I'm saying? I don't know. I think that I until further notice, I trust McCullers to be reliable and solid and go deep. Seattle's offense, in this spot, I don't necessarily trust them. The game in general had me. I was uncertain about this game just because of Flexen. I'm not sure if I have some peripherals here that indicate to me that he might be headed back down. Taking a little bit dip for the next maybe couple weeks or maybe even couple months. Uncertainty about what to expect from Flexen, but I kind of like McCullers here in general. I'm thinking about taking Seattle team total under as an official play.
Oh,
what do you think about that?
Let's do it. Let's go head to head.
You want to do it?
I've got some confidence, Pete. I'm rolling a little bit. I saw the bet. Yeah? It spoke to me, Pete.
Oh, yeah? Really?
Oh,
really?
Yes.
Yeah?
Yes. Pete, we should have bet. we should have bet on this weekend's Red Sox Yankees series. That's where I would have made my money, Pete.
I kind of got screwed by that series. I don't exactly remember. I think I bet overs. I don't remember what the hell I bet on that series, but I'll take it. I'll tell you what. I'll take it. Seattle. Full game, team total under 3.5. I'm seeing, let's see, minus 122 at Pinnacle. I'll take it.
It's gonna be a tense next Tuesday.
Yeah. Oh yes.
Oh,
I love that drama.
Well, I guess
unspoken animosity that equals ratings.
I guess the only thing I can ask now, Jose, is wipe that smile off your face and give us another winner, and another one after that, and another one after that, and another one after that, and then, only then, can you be smiling up plus units on the show, because you're down units.
I'm down, but guess what, Jimmy? I'm not out. I just left you speechless there, huh? You just lost there.
He's not out. And I love that the screen chops off half of that head of hair of yours. Oh, God!
There you go.
Oh,
there you go. See, sorry, I wanted to at least show my brand new shirt that I'm sure everyone appreciates and loves. Shout out to our social media guy, Dylan, who made these shirts and is selling them. I'm sure you guys don't know who's on this shirt, but shout out to Spurs shirt. And I have one more shout out before I get kicked off the show.
Sure, my finger's on the trigger. I
know. I see it. I can feel it. I'm doing a baseball show tonight. It's a baseball news show. I'll be watching baseball live with one of my friends, Andrew. We do shows all the time. We did shows in the preseason, but we're gonna do a show tonight. Watch some games, perhaps some live betting, perhaps some baseball news. Maybe we get some trades then. So watch then. It'll be a good time.
I love it. There he is, Jose Sehe play of the day, going right up against Pistol Pete Loshak. Dangerous waters. Very.
I'll bet it too.
Very.
Oh shit!
Dangerous waters. Thank you for joining us, Jose. We will see you tomorrow, and there you have it, Jose and Pete going heads up here. Ooh, wee. And
yeah, I don't just in general on this game. Like I said, I was my numbers are very uncertain when it comes to flexing, but they like a good start from McCullers here, so we'll see. I would have taken the first 5 team total under if it had been 2.5, but I'm only seeing 1.5. So.
Yeah, we have just 1.5s on the board, and that first 5 opened at 4.5. It's still at 4.5 at a couple books, but it's moved to 4 at most of them. Let's see what I have here. For that first 5 under at 4 plus 100. Interesting. I imagine that at 4.5, that would have been a nice look on the under, but there's some concern about flexing.
Yeah, my numbers have a lot of concern about flexing. So that's why I was uncertain about which way I wanted to play the game.
There you have it. Pete and Jose going head to head. in that big spot. All right, we got one more game on the table, and then we will review action. 10:10 p.m. Eastern. Oakland Athletics 56-45, 26-21 on the road at San Diego Padres 58-44, 33-19 at home. We're at Petco Park in San Diego, California. 74 Fahrenheit, clear, 9 miles per hour in. James Caprillion. He keeps pitching better and better and better. We backed him, and it took me a while to get on it. And if it wasn't for Diesel Eugene, because the market was moving to the first 4.5 over, and I went against the market move after Diesel Eugene said, "Look, Caprillion is an Orange County kid. He's going to pitch great against the Angels," and he did. 6 innings, 5 hits, no earned runs, 2 walks, 7 Ks. Paddock can't be trusted. I don't know when he's going to pitch great, when he's going to pitch terrible. He's a very difficult pitcher for me to figure out. He pitched great in his last start, 3-2 win at the Braves in the 7-inning doubleheader, 5 innings, 3 hits. The A's first righties, 232, 716 OPS. Padres first righties, 245, 742 OPS. Padres bullpen, best bullpen in the league all year, 3.01 ERA, 1.20 whip. But the A's bullpen is running hot right now, 3.78 ERA, 1.26 whip, pitching very good. Sharpie says wrong team favorite. I'm on Oakland first 5 plus 130 and the reverse run line -1 plus 210. Says better pitcher for one, and since the All-Star break, better bats versus right-handed pitching. Oakland top bullpen, Padres bottom 10. Oh yeah, and fade Paddock. Let's give a market line to Pete and see him roll here. The first 5 was initially juiced to the under 4.5, now juiced to the over 4.5, and full game. Same thing, juiced to the under 8.5, now juiced to the over 8.5, and the Padres have a huge move towards them. 22 cents, opening up -130, now -152. Take it away, Pete.
Yeah, I mean, Frazier's a great get for San Diego. In this spot, though, my leans here that I was going to give were Oakland first 5, like the guy said, and San Diego first 5, team total under, maybe. Paddock, again, is a little bit of a wild card. He's definitely pretty shaky. But I would feel much more. My numbers like Oakland on the first half more than the full game. So those are my leans. Oakland first 5, maybe on the run line to be a little bit safe, and the San Diego first 5 team total under. Maybe I'm expecting another good start here from Caprillion. Paddock's a wild card. I like San Diego in general, but not in this spot. And there's my take.
Very, very interesting. So we have the Padres have never seen Caprillion. Against Paddock, the A's rating 214 with a 710 OPS. So Paddock trying to get a roster spot at this point for the playoffs, because that's not guaranteed with the way he's been pitching. Let's take a look at where the cash lies in this spot. 2,912 tickets in, 51% of the tickets and 35% of the cash on the Padres, yet it's moving so heavily over towards them. Very strange. Then 44% of the tickets on the under and 82% of the cash on the under. Very confusing here for me. Very confusing here for me. Pete, are you going to make the Oakland A's first 5 official?
I don't know. I mean, I'm thinking about what I want to make official here. All the leans. I mean, the first 5 and full game unders are also leans that my numbers like a little bit. So I'm thinking about what I want to do here, how I want to handle this as far as an official play is concerned. Give me a couple seconds.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. Because, oh wow, Darmy Gun says Pirates announced they'd like to trade Tyler Anderson tonight before the trade start. Mets showing some interest. Wow, interesting, interesting. Or could be a nice showcase game for Tyler Anderson. Thank you for letting us know that, Darmy Gun. Darmy Gun locked in Astros team total over 4.5 and Brewers -128. Mally Mal says Oakland is being trash on the road scoring wise.
Yeah. The question mark here is Paddock. And my numbers don't really like him.
Because that makes me think that this first 5 under 4.5 could be on the board, but then I would have to trust Paddock at home. I'm going to pull up his splits here very quickly, and then we'll see if Pete has locked something in. We're going to move over to Chris Paddock's.
All right. I'll take to San Diego first 5 team total under 2.5 -125. No problem. If they get Caprillion for 3, fine, good for them. But I'm going to take it. San Diego first 5 team total under 2.5 -125.
-125 for Pete. Okay. And then I would like to look at this Paddock home and road splits. And what was the weather again? We have 9 miles per hour in, and A's bullpen being so good of late. Feels like unders could be in play. Okay, we're going to the splits right now here, and then I'm going to make a decision. Interesting. So much money on the under and moving towards the over. Here we go. So at home, he's terrible. 6.94 ERA, 322 opponents batting average against. It's on the road where he's been good. God. And then, I mean, day-night splits are messed up. Sharpie's got a Caprillion Rookie of the Year future.
Wow. Wow, that's the BBW guy.
Yeah.
Nice job. Nice job. Wow.
Yeah. Okay. I guess I've got to do nothing, but the A's make sense. Ramon Scott talking about Paddock being better on the road. The A's make sense, but there's this huge market move. It's even moved 2 more cents since we've been talking. It's now at minus 154 at Pinnacle for Padres full game. I guess that's going to I think I have enough action, and I can just sit back and cheer you guys on, but if the A's first 5 catches, I'm going to be so angry with that plus line spot, not attacking it. So I'm going to put some question marks beside that and take a little bit more time. Okay, there is your full MLB card. Let's review. So first off, if the 5 is still available in Marlins Orioles, I'm going to take the first 5 under 5. That will be in addition. I've made 5 bets before the show started. I'll go over them with you guys, but that is going to be in addition. I bet the full game under 8.5 at minus 105 in Brewers Pirates. I'm a little uncomfortable with hearing from Dommy Gun that Tyler Anderson's on the trade block right now. I wonder if that gets in his head, makes me a little uncomfortable. Then we get to a spot where Pete gets on the board. He's on the Nationals. First 5, team total over 2.5 at minus 120. I'm on the first 5 over 5.5 at minus 120, and then that's first 5 at minus 105. That's already locked in. Braves, Mets. We don't know who's pitching for the Mets at this point. I wonder if that information has come in. It still has not come in, so it's still not on the board. Then we have Yankees, Tampa, and the Yanks and over were a lean that Pete had and makes sense, and I want to take more time on that, but I get it. Then we get to more of Pete's action, a double up on the St. Louis Cardinals. So he's got the Cardinals -1. That's at minus 110 and plus 145. He's also got the Cardinals first 5 at minus 121. I think I'm going to tail the Cardinals -1. I want to see how far the market's moved as soon as the show's over. I'm on the under 9 at minus 105 already, and the taint play of the day is St. Louis Cleveland full game under 9.5 at minus 115. So Jays Red Sox, we talked all about this, and now, so we knew the public was going to be all over the over, and there, I get it. I can understand why that is, but we also saw a huge amount of cash on the under, and that's changed. Okay, so now we have 3,051 tickets in. So now it's much more normal. We have 55% of tickets on the under and 62% of cash on the under. So that makes more sense, and I could understand that a contrarian play would be on that under. Then we move on to the Dirty K prop of the days on Taylor Widener over 4.5 Ks at minus 154. Our Sharpie is also on Arizona first 5 at plus 130. And Pete moved on Arizona first 5 plus a half at minus 115. I'm already on
118. Sorry.
Is that what? Oh, sorry. I have one minus 118 written down. And I'm on the first 5 under 4.5 at minus 105. Okay, so then we move on to a spot that Pete is on that I missed. The first 5 over 5 was available. It's 5.5 right now. Pete gave it out. Reds, Cubs, first 5 over 5.5 at minus 114, and I want in. I wish it occurred to me earlier. It did not. I'm going to move on that. I was thinking about the under in White Sox Royals. I have enough action today, and I guess Pete talked me off of that spot. Then we get to 8:10 p.m. Eastern, Tigers, Twins. No move for either of us. Then the over 9 in Rockies, Angels is appealing to me. It's gone from 9.5 to 9. Gomber's pitched well, and Suarez has pitched well this year, but these teams smash lefties. I think I'm going to move on it. I expect to move on it. That's going to take a few more minutes of study here. Then we get to razor sharp picks, Gambler's first glance, Giants plus 112. Giants plus 112, and Pete has double dipped in this game. He's on the Giants first 5 plus a half at minus 127, and he's on the Dodgers first 5 team total under 2.5 at minus 145. Minus 145. Then I am going to move on the full game under 8.5. I'm going to move on that. So we get to the very exciting spot here in Astros Mariners. Not only do we have the Rusty Kuntz play of the day, Seattle, Houston, no run first inning, but we have Pete and Jose going head to head here. Pete on the Mariners team total under 3.5, and Jose on the Mariners team total over 3.5. Very, very, very exciting. Then Pete moved on the Padres first 5 team total under 2.5 at -125. And we have a lot of cappers in the chat on the A's first 5. And this market move has scared me. And it scared me to the point where if I was to decipher this market move, Pete, I would say that what is happening here is that the market thinks that Paddock is going to have a nice start.
Yeah. And, I mean, Frazier is a big addition to the lineup for San Diego. I mean, they're going to have a pretty damn impressive lineup once he gets going. So, you know.
So you think that it's as much a part of Frazier being moved over there as it is to the expectation of
I think it's all of it. I mean, definitely, San Diego is the significantly better team, according to what I'm looking at here. And just Paddock is the wild card. But, I mean, a 5-inning, 1-run start for Paddock would not be a surprise at all. He's certainly capable of that. Shaky his last bunch of appearances, but he's not that bad overall.
And those home road splits are ludicrous. Because if the market thinks that Paddock is going to have a nice start, I think that Caprillion is going to have a good start.
Yeah, I like the unders on this. First 5 under and full game under as well.
Yeah. And then so in saying that, what is keeping you off betting that? Is it the fact that Paddock is so bad at home this year?
No, I didn't. I might. I might take it. I haven't bet it yet, but I certainly might. I want to check the line movements, the lineups, all that sort of thing. But yeah, I mean, this is a relatively, I think, comfortable assignment for him. I don't put that much stock in the home road splits for Paddock right now. He's just kind of my numbers don't like him in general, but in this spot, they're high on Caprillion here.
Well, I think I'm going to move on this first 5 under 4.5. I think I'm going to move on this first 5 under 4.5 as an addition to my card. And it's funny because before we just did that last kind of talk out, I did have that A's first 5, but this giant market move is concerning me. Okay, there you have it. There is our show. What an enjoyable 2 hours. I love our Tuesday shows so much with Pistol Pete Loshak in the house. Nuclear says, great show, Jimmy and Pete. Chat. See you next time. Billy Pilgrim says, is there a Loshak Twitter? Yes, P Loshak. Loshak. I love it, Pete. Any last words before I put a bow on this bad boy? There's Rocky Menichetti in the house we've hung out with in Las Vegas. Any last words, my man?
I guess just if I gave 9 official plays, if I go 1-8, but the winner is the Seattle team total under, I'll be satisfied. I'll be happy. You're watching Loshak in the Bag Show here at Pub Sports Radio.
Pistol Pete Loshak going head-to-head with our man Jose. We truly have no show with all you great cappers in the chat with your insights, your angles, your stats, your humor. We love you guys so much. Thank you so much. So many of you to thank, but we sure love you guys. North Ender, Billy Pilgrim, Rich G, Sharpie, Mally Mal, J-Rock, Rocky Menichetti, Tommy Gunn, Ricci, Chris Brady, Sharpie. What a great performance by Sharpie, the BBW Chaser, Razor Sharp Picks, Maurice Walker, Mally Mal, Dennis Trusty, CT Bays, all you guys, thank you. Ramon Scott, Christopher Comatini, North Ender, Nate Dogg, Ross Pitts, Chris, God, thank you. Ralph Nunziata. We love you guys. Big show coming on 3 minutes. 3 minutes till Babano and C-Mac break down this entire card. And new show this evening starring Jose, the star of the Say Hey Play of the Day, a live look-in, because the trade deadline's right here, a baseball betting show from our man Jose. On behalf of all of us, thank you guys so much for watching. You can catch Loshak in the Bag every Tuesday. People will be right back in action. But most importantly, let's get some winners. Hey, those bookmakers! Milk that shit.